So, hello and welcome to the Indigo Brave newsletter blog. This one is all about Lammas. So, it's the Lammas festival this weekend as I look out on the beautiful sky and the trees waving in the wind and are reminded that summer is nearing its end. But we are in the harvest season, beautiful harvest season, very special time of year. Certainly, it would have been hugely important to our ancestors who were so dependent on the grain harvest. And Lammas, sometimes called Lunasar, was a Celtic festival, a fire festival, which was connected with the Celtic sun god Lu. And that god was a particular master of skills and crafts. So he was believed to be behind the super master craft builders of the harvest, the people who made the tools and who knew when to cut and how to do those incredible skills of harvesting food, much of which, of course, we have lost now, but we had ploughs and we had scythes and sickles. If any of you have had a chance to do some scything, it's quite something. It's recommended. It's a great exercise. But that festival, the festival of Lammas, also celebrated human achievement, creativity, and there was, of course, all sorts of brilliance. So vitality and endurance, horse racing, music, poetry. At lots of times when we would come together as a community, and we would celebrate accomplishment, really, accomplishment and achievement. So I think you can see why we're believing in Indigo Brave that it would be a good idea if we remembered Lammas and remembered the season of celebrating our accomplishments, celebrating our harvest in a sense. What are we harvesting that we have grown through the year? We've been developing. There must be some fruits of our labour that we can celebrate. It was a feminine festival too, Lammas, because it celebrated the goddess of sovereignty, and that is, of course, Mother Earth, the feminine force, which is nurturing and nourishing the land ceaselessly. And she would be honoured as well and thanked for her part, Mother Earth's part in the growing and nurturing of our food. It's quite incredible, really. Every time I remember to appreciate the fact that everything that I see has come from Earth. It's come from the resources of this planet. That's phenomenal, really. Of course, this isn't about, ego recognition. This is about appreciation, deep appreciation. And Mother Earth, of course, is always teaching us that true abundance is not about accumulation. It's not about getting things to hold on to them. It's about enjoying the cycle, enjoying the whole thing, and reminding us to be in service to our own purpose, in service to whatever it is that we hold in that big picture piece of Indigo Brave's model. So our physical, emotional, mental, and big picture. And if you would like to celebrate in your own way, Lammas. Of course, that's totally doable. We don't have to have an entire tribe that we can get involved with and do this now. Although there's plenty of festivals up and down the country that provide that too. But there's lots of ways that we'll talk about where we can draw together the idea of harvest and the concept, the beauty of harvest and appreciate it in ourselves. One of those is in our rest and reset session and on the Mighty Network, where you are very welcome to come and join our Firelight Circle. So that's a part of the coaching campfire circle that we've created. That's our harvest this year. We're harvesting an idea that began way back way back in the Samhain time of year last November. And we've been thinking and developing and umming and ahhing how we can invite people in. And that is what we have harvested. So join our coaching campfire circle. It's free and you are very, very welcome. So, thanks for the history lesson, Layla. Why on earth should I be celebrating Lammas in this modern day? I don't need to know when the harvest is in or out. I can harvest anytime I want simply by nipping to the supermarket or the farm shop or anywhere I want to go and buy food from. Well, part of what we believe is going to support ourselves through these periods of change on earth that we are in is that we need to connect. We need to reconnect with ourselves and with earth. So this is what this blog is about on our website, and I'm just going to read it to you now for the people who asked me to make sure they could listen to the blog whilst they were doing all the other important jobs that they need to do. Here we go. So, Lammas is important in every day because it reminds us to harvest the accomplishments that we have been working on. It's also part of the turning of the year. It marks the beginning of the end of summer and reminds us that every beginning is the beginning of harvest, but that also has an end within it. We believe that connecting and reconnecting is so important because we are so disconnected from many elements of ourselves and our lives. Indigo Bray's philosophy is that reconnecting to ourselves, our relationships, family, friends, teams, and our environment, nature, land, animals, garden, food, earth, is the best medicine to heal the disconnection that we're currently seeing in our society, the disconnection in our people. There's too much disconnection, too much polarization, too much separation, and not enough coming together to genuinely experience ourselves within our big picture, within the system that is us. It's the society that we're part of. The wheel of the year, and therefore Lammas within that, is always important because it's part of this reconnection. Each turn of the wheel marks a different phase, a moment, a flavour of energy, a piece of the rhythm in our lives, a drumbeat to add to the music we make. So when we notice this and recognise this, we're more in tune with the turning. It supports us to reconnect with ourselves and therefore feel more energised, present and empowered. Lammas is a time to gather in the harvest. We may have worked hard enough to be having a holiday this summer with our loved ones. This needs to be celebrated. Perhaps during the no school time, and there's a whole nother blog on why we shouldn't call those holidays. I think parents can relate to that immediately. But during the no school time, we still need to harvest time for ourselves away, or perhaps work differently through this different rhythm. Perhaps we might be able to get a bit of time to reassess our purpose, our vision, and our mission. Lammas and harvest also reminds us that we're all interconnected because we cannot harvest alone. That's the wonderful story of Little Red Hen. And Little Red Hen is trying to gather the grain for bread and go through the whole process of gathering it. And she asks for lots of animals' help along the way, from the growing of the grain right the way through to the baking of the bread. And some of the selfish animals don't help her. And of course, then they are excluded from the harvest, the eating and the celebration at the end when the bread is cooked. So although our modern lives would sometimes have us believe that we exist in separate family units, this is not the truth. our harvest, be it the food or the skills or the talents that we have, are never grown in isolation. We depend on and we give to our communities in so many ways, visible and invisible. As we're witnessing so much exponential shift and change across the globe, let's take this moment at Lammas to remember that we're not alone, we can't do it alone, and we were never meant to do it alone. We are definitely pack animals. So, carrying the flame forward, a Lammas invitation for all people who are leaders and who are leading the change. How does this relate to our business environment, Layla? Well, in senior leadership environments, we're often trained to focus and drive towards the future. What's next? The next quarter, next project, next goal. Success, of course, has to be defined, and very often they are being measured by financial targets and outputs. Now, tools and contexts have evolved, and hopefully, some of you out there might be interested in also making sure you're measuring and targeting different things inside your business. You'll probably be bored of me reminding you that Indigo Brave is a triple bottom line social enterprise. So we are also auditing ourselves on our effect on the planet, our effect on people, as well as our ability to create profit, which we have to do so that we can keep all our projects running, the social ones which require more of our funding, and the commercial and corporate projects where we can gather those resources in more easily. So, how are we measuring the shifts that we know? We know we need to measure them, but the harvest must be recognized. When do we stop and go, good job? Look at what we've achieved. We have developed these things. We've got this done. We have managed, even in our fast-paced system, to really prove to the world that we've achieved whatever it is. Very important that you take those moments to reset. So you will know that we choose a values day in October to reassess Indigo Brave's values. But in August, we have a Lammas reset. So we have a harvest. We have a moment where that we take very simply with a shared meal, but we're looking at asking ourselves and our team, what have we succeeded in? What have we planted earlier this year that's now bearing fruit? Where has our progress occurred, even if it's quietly in the background? And very importantly, what invisible labour have we forgotten to note? What emotional labour have we forgotten to measure and appreciate? And do we need to create any culture shifts, culture changes? Are we recognizing enough the other things that we're harvesting, as well as the financial targets and the growth targets that we are measuring? What else honors contribution and sustains growth? Great. So, inner fire, outer change. Lammas is a fire festival, so we really welcome the idea of celebrating it with your own fire, be it a lighting of a candle, just to take a moment to celebrate your harvest this year. That could be enough. Or perhaps you have the space and time to be able to enjoy a summer campfire where you can really stare into those miraculous, beautiful flames and nurture yourself and appreciate yourself through that beautiful, beautiful fire. It's so nurturing. Great. So we know that you are holding huge complexity. We want you to recalibrate at this time. Can you even take half an hour just to congratulate yourself on what you've achieved? And can you take a bit of time in nature? Increasing your time in nature can only help your nervous system. Yes, barefoot if you can. Yes, even if you can get out onto some grassy patch somewhere in a park. I did Tai Chi in a park very recently, and I was properly frightened as to what people would say, think, or the looks I'd get. And you know what? Nobody cared. Nobody was bothered. A few people looked and there was a bit of a, oh, I wonder what she's doing. And there was a bit of, oh, I think that's Tai Chi. But you could see recognition on people's faces. But, it wasn't the sort of, oh, shock, horror, what on earth is that woman doing? That in my head, I thought it might be. So good. Nature, nature, nature. Reconnecting to the earth is always going to help you achieve more. It's a bit of a paradox because how many times do we go, well, I haven't got time for that walk. I haven't got time to stand barefoot on the ground. But actually, you really have not got time not to. The statistics on burnout, particularly in women, are absolutely shocking. About 50% of women in the workplace at the moment consider themselves to be at risk of burnout, and that is absolutely bonkers. So consider the earth, it's your stability and strength. Appreciate the sun, it's feeding you with its warmth and its light abundantly. Appreciate the rain, it's nourishing you, cleansing you, cleansing the air. And breathe. Breathe the air. It's your clarity. It supports your voice and your strategic focus. So the elements support us to remember that we are made of this planet. We're all part of the same stuff. And if you're feeling the need for a reset, please do go to our campfire circles and join our firelight circle. It doesn't cost any money. It's free. It's there for you. Come into our firelight. Come and nurture yourself. And there's a rest and reset session up there for you, which recognizes the Lammas time of year and supports us to reset and harvest what we're really grateful for and what we have achieved. Fantastic. So it's been wonderful to share this blog with you. Let's just recap that we invite you to lead through your connection. So that's connection with yourself first, connection with others, and connection with your earth, connection with the planet that we are part of. That way, you will be able to harvest your wins, even the quiet ones that may go unnoticed. Recognize the rhythm of the turning of the year. This helps you to see yourself as part of this cycle, part of this rhythm, not separate from it, which can leave us very ungrounded and unmoored, actually, in our physical presence. And perhaps consider joining our Firelight Circle and igniting your next chapter. So hopefully you will feel called into our community where we can do this together, because we're here, we're around your fire, our fire, we're together, and we welcome your flame into our Firelight Circle so we can create and grow and be and learn together. Enjoy Lammas. Enjoy your harvest. Thank you.